Hey guys, what's up? This is the Rion Rundown. It's gonna be episode 2. Today is September 9th, 2011. It's been exactly 1 week since my first post. Congratulations to me. Did all right. Got around 40 views. I got one subscriber out of it. So here we go. Ryan Rundown, episode 2. We're gonna talk things we're gonna talk about today. We're going to discuss the Big 12 movement. What will happen? Will it stay? Will it disband? We'll talk about that. I will run down the NFL games this weekend, and I will pick my division winners, maybe if we have time. And then if we have time for the last thing, which is a college football update, run down the top 25, what happened, and some big games this weekend. All right, so Big 12 movement. Here we go. College athletics. A&M's move to the SEC, as you know, they withdrew and they planned to move to the SEC. Their move was blocked by Baylor. Baylor came out and said, "Hey, if you guys leave, we're going to sue you," and so that happened. And then after that, A&M was aggravated by that because the Big 12 commissioner said that they would not sue them, but that does not mean that the individual entities of the conference cannot sue Texas A&M themselves. So Baylor came out and said, "Hey, we're not gonna let you leave. We we don't know if we might not have a conference, so if you leave, we're not gonna let you do it." And then Iowa State comes out and be like, "Hey, we're behind Baylor." As you know, Baylor and Iowa State aren't really two strong powerhouses in really any sport, so they don't want the Big 12 to disband because if it happens, where are they going to go? And then Kansas finally come out and said, "Hey, we're going to back up Iowa State and Baylor." Three teams that are not actually four teams that are not going to take legal action are Oklahoma, Texas, Texas Tech, and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma said that it's like, hey, if this is going to disband, if this is going to happen, if A&M is going to leave, we have to explore our options. So they came out publicly and said that. And now Oklahoma State said, hey, we're behind Oklahoma. We want to go where they want to go. We want to stay with them. We want to keep that rivalry alive. And then Texas Tech is like, hey, they're from our home state. We're not going to mess with that. We're going to let them go if they please. So the only two teams that have not spoken on the matter is the University of Missouri and Kansas State. But other than that, things don't look very good for the conference. After Oklahoma announced that it might leave, Baylor's like, hey, we're not going to budge. We're not going to let A&M leave until we know what Oklahoma's going to do. If Oklahoma wants to leave, we might let them both leave. But right now, we're not going to budge. So, but things don't look good. My guess is Oklahoma will probably leave the Big 12. If A&M goes, which they probably will end up going, they will probably get sued and pay all the fees, and then Oklahoma looks like they'll end up going. So, and then Oklahoma State will follow. So what happens then? Leaves us with 7 teams. It means we got to recruit 3. I don't see it happening. We get BYU, SMU, and some other team, but I don't see it happening. If Oklahoma decides to leave, and then Oklahoma State decides with them, which they will, wherever they go, they'll leave too. The Big 12 will disband, and that will be it. And then it will look like that. Then the question is, what will happen to everybody? Big 12 obviously is done. A&M is going to the SEC. Oklahoma and Oklahoma State will more likely move to the Pac-12 right now. That'll make 14 teams. Pac-12 will probably want 16, so they'll probably take Texas and Texas Tech. If not Texas Tech, maybe BYU, but they will for sure take Texas. But they want 16. They will probably want 16 teams, and it looks like that they will get it. If Oklahoma and Oklahoma State both go along with Texas, and then that 16 team, either if they want to take Texas Tech, or if they want to take BYU. I would personally take BYU, leave Texas Tech on their own, but we'll see what happens. Missouri, SEC's shown interest in them. They've shown interest in the SEC. That'll probably where they go. And then Kansas and K-State will also probably go with us because if A&M goes, that makes 13, and then add 3 more, makes 16 in the SEC. Kansas won't compete in football, but they'll give SEC all 4 of these teams, Missouri, A&M, Kansas State, and Kansas will give SEC some more strength in basketball as well, which is a good thing. And then who knows what will happen to Iowa State or Baylor, or maybe even Tech if they don't get accepted to the Pac-16, whatever it's going to be called. Who knows what happens to those guys? Who knows? They might join a smaller conference, become independents, but I don't think college football wants any more independence, as they already have Notre Dame and BYU's an independent now. I don't think they want any more. I think they'll end up joining. I think Iowa State might get to go. They might get to go to the Big Ten. Maybe. I don't think so though. that I don't think they would get to join the Big Ten. They might go there. So I see them going to smaller conferences or just becoming independents. So that looks like what's going to happen in that situation. Like I said, I predict that Oklahoma will decide to leave, and the Big 12 will disband. That doesn't look good for us. So we'll see what happens in the next year. But now, got to focus on the present. Right now, moving on to the next subject, we're going to move on to the NFL. Some big games this weekend. We had a game kicked off last night between Green Bay and New Orleans. Basically, it was a battle of whose defense was not as bad as the others. Both defenses looked pretty awful. It was an offensive showcase. 42-35 was the score. I think 42-30, 42-34, something like that. It was by touchdown, but Green Bay's defense looked less worse than New Orleans defense. That's what it came down to. But both offenses were stellar. Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees both look good. Aaron Rodgers looks like he's back at Super Bowl contention. He's back. He's the Super Bowl Aaron Rodgers that he was. So that's where that is. And player to watch out for that you might want to pick up in your fantasy teams. I know I was going to pick him up last night, but my roommate beat him to me. One of my roommates beat it to me. Darren Sproles, running back for New Orleans Saints, looked fantastic. He was in San Diego. I knew he was a good player in San Diego. He's actually on my team in one of my other leagues, but I was going to get him in both leagues, but my buddy Cyrus beat me to it. So player to watch out for, Darren Sproles, running back for New Orleans. They look to be pretty good in the backfield. So that's that. Some other big games this weekend. Steelers at Ravens. It's going to be a battle of tough defenses, but I think that the young quarterback Joe Flacco will outsmart Big Ben, who's probably going to go on. Who's probably going to start his mediocre veteran years, and it's going to be a battle of defenses. And I think the Ravens will come out on top, 16-13, with a field goal. Eagles at Rams. I know I'm talking about my home team, St. Louis Rams, but listen to me. This is legit. Upset alert. Upset alert right here. Eagles at Rams. Rams defense will be too much to handle for that new, changed up Eagles offensive line. They've had so many guys switch positions. They've lost people, and Vic won't be able to run as freely as he's used to. He won't have all the time in the world that he's used to. And the young Rams defensive line, anchored by James Hall and Laurinaitis, he's a linebacker. Laurinaitis and Hall, and yeah, it's just going to be too much for him to handle. Chris Long will be the other one for him. It'll be too much for him to handle. Vic will get sacked a couple times. It'll be shaken up. The Vic and the Eagles will still score some touchdowns, but it won't be like it. Won't be the Eagles from last year. I say, and Steven Jackson and Cadillac Williams will look stellar in the backfield because Jackson will get some rest with a good back of Cadillac Williams coming in for a couple downs, and Steven Jackson will go back in. Rams win 24-21, also by field goal. Some other games to watch this weekend. Vikings at the Minnesota Vikings at the San Diego Chargers. It's McNabb's debut. We'll see how he goes. Go to a new city. Maybe he can get some new life, but I think McNabb's career is frankly quite done. So that's that. The Cowboys at Jets. Romo might shock the Big Apple. Watch out for that. I think Tony Romo and the Dallas Cowboys are going to have a good year this year. I think they're going to come on the comeback trail, and they might shock the Jets in the Big Apple. I think the Jets kind of got a big head because they think they got all the weapons in the world with Plaxico Burress and Darrelle Revis and Mark Sanchez. So they might. I'm not saying they will, but they might. And then the last one is the Giants at Redskins. This will be interesting, I think. Most people are like, Giants, Redskins. Giants are going to kill the Redskins. No, I don't think so. I think it'll be a good game. I don't know who's going to come out on top. If I had to put my money on it, if I was a bet man, I'd put on the Giants just because they know what they're doing. Tom Coughlin's a good coach. But the Giants' banged-up defense is going to be interesting to watch how they're going to handle versus Rex Grossman, who guaranteed that he's going to win the East. I don't see that happening, but hey, you got to have confidence to be good in NFL football. So that'll be an interesting game to watch. As far as who I think is going to win each division, I didn't really write this down, so we're just going to wing it. We'll start in the NFC West. Of course, I picked Rams to upset the Philadelphia Eagles this weekend. I think they will win the West. The West is downtrodden. Seattle lost Hasselbeck. Arizona got Kevin Cobb. I think that's going to work out. I'm not a believer in Kevin Cobb. Never was. So we'll see how that works out. And then, of course, San Francisco, they don't know what they're doing over there. They drafted Colin Kaepernick from Nevada, but they're still going to start Alex Smith. He's never proven to be a good quarterback, so But like I said, I expect the Rams to win the West. NFC North wise, definitely Packers. Packers all the way. They'll win it, and the Lions will come in second, and they'll get a wild card spot. I'm a big believer in the Lions and Ndamukong Suh. Don't like the guy. I don't never have since he played in Nebraska, but he's a good player. They also got Nick Fairley, Matthew Stafford. If he stays healthy, they'll get a wild card spot. Down the NFC South, probably have to say this division is going to go to the Atlanta Falcons. Everyone's saying Saints. I'm not believing in the Saints. I'm going to go say Atlanta Falcons. They have Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and a bunch of offensive weapons that will just tear up everybody down there. And the other division, the other wild card winner is going to come from down there. It's going to be Tampa Bay. Yeah, I know they had a bad preseason, but they are a good team. Josh Freeman is a young quarterback. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't have that many weapons to go to, but I think Tampa Bay will get the other wild card spot. And in the East, go ahead and say the Cowboys are going to come out winners in the East. So Giants defense is just downtrodden. I don't see them competing. The Eagles offensive line has been a mess. So we'll see where that goes. But I think like I said, Rams win the West. Packers win the North. Lions get a wild card out of the North. Falcons win the South. Buccaneers get a wild card out of the South. And the Cowboys win the East. On the AFC, as far as the West goes, it's tough. I want to say the Raiders, but I don't think so. I think this year's going to be the Chargers. Philip Rivers and Vincent. He's got Vincent Jackson. You'll have him the whole year. They'll run the West. Sorry, Chiefs. Sorry, Chiefs fans. It's not going to happen. AFC North. I'm gonna go ahead and have to say the Ravens. They're going to beat the Steelers. That's their division rival. The Ravens will win the North, but the Steelers will get a wild card out of the North. AFC South. Peyton Manning looks like he's going to be out for a long, long time. Not good, Colts fans. I'm going to go ahead and say that the Texans, this is their year. They're going to win the South this year. The Texans will win the South. Matt Schaub's ready to do it. Peyton Manning's not there to stop him. Texans win the South. Going to the AFC East, of course, unanimous decision. Pats. I think the Pats are going to win it. Tom Brady, Ocho Cinco, Wes Welker. Too many. They picked up Albert Hainsworth. They're just going to be unstoppable. And then the wild card out there is also going to be the Jets, I think. So Chargers win the West. Ravens win the North. Steelers get wild card out of the North. Texans win the South. Patriots win the East. And Jets get a wild card out of the East. That's how that's going to run down. All right, so I'm running on 13 minutes here. Got about 2 minutes left. College football update, just to run down. Notre Dame, Auburn, USC, and Georgia were all dropped from top 25, even though Auburn and USC both won their games. Auburn barely won to Utah State. They're not going to be as good as they were last year. Obviously, that's why they dropped. USC barely beat Minnesota. Minnesota's not a bad team, but they just dropped because they were 25. LSU's now number 2, and they're the team to watch out for. Stellar defense. I didn't think they would do it. I'll eat my words in that one. I'll also eat my words in the Boise State game. So, yeah. Some big games to watch this weekend tonight. 9:30 Central Time, Missouri at Arizona State. Number 21, Missouri. Everyone thinks that, well, the line in Vegas says Arizona's the favorite. Arizona State's the favorite, but everyone around this campus is thinking that we're just going to walk all over them. I don't think so. I'm not going to say what's going to happen. I'm going to be optimistic about it because I'm a fan, but I wouldn't be surprised if Mizzou walked out of there tonight with a loss. Let's put it that way. And then number 3, Alabama, number 23, Penn State. It's going to be a good game. I think Alabama will walk away with it eventually in the end. Penn State's just not enough to handle that offense. Upset alert in this one, though. Number 12, South Carolina at Georgia. South Carolina did not impress me in their opening game. Georgia did, however. They hung in there with Boise State. Only lost by 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns? Yeah, only lost by 2 touchdowns at Boise State. So, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's just an upset alert for you guys to watch out for. And then, last but not least, of course, Notre Dame, Michigan. Michigan will walk away with it. First night game ever in the Big House. So watch out for that one on ESPN Saturday night. But other than that, this has been the Rion Rundown episode 2. Hope you guys enjoyed. Comment, subscribe, enjoy, and please share. Share to your friends. Put it on your Facebook. Put it on your Twitter. Share me. I want to get my name out there. So just share this to everyone that is in your social network, or so to say. So until next time, I'm Jarrett Ryan, and this has been the Rion Rundown.